Hello, it's Dr. James here, and I just returned from China. Had a great time. And I'm going to tell you about some funny, interesting cultural experiences I had and how this shows a difference in people. Maybe there are some takeaways you can take away here that show pieces of living where you can improve upon your life. You can take pieces of the Chinese culture that can serve you and discard the ones that don't. In general, this is how I try to approach any culture. Recognize that there will be different aspects of it, and there are going to be both good and bad aspects. And as an individual, I can cultivate pieces of culture that I find to be the most profound in the good, positive way. Be the person I want to be by embracing the parts of different cultures that I like the most. So I am from the United States. Some of the cultural things I like about the US is that we tend to be pretty confident in pushing to achieve good things. Recently, I feel like that culture has shifted some. We kind of have a bit of an anti-work culture going on, or at least we have like some wave of it. And I think that can be really damaging. Not because there's not valid complaints about bad aspects of work, but because as an individual, work really helps us achieve better things in life and acquire better life itself, more meaningful experiences in our life. So one thing I noticed in China is that people are really competitive because there's so many darn people, and they highly value education and test scores. And there's some bad aspects of this. So you have kids studying 14 hours a day, literally, many kids doing this, and you lose out parts of your life that way as a kid. But the upside here is that you have this highly competitive culture when it comes to academic achievement. And you have many, many kids who know stuff like calculus in middle school. And that's probably a good thing. So that competitiveness, the academic drive, I want to try to hold on to that part of culture. There's some pretty funny stuff I saw as well. It is one of the most fast-paced cultures I've seen. People just like cut in front of lines for no reason. I was standing in a really long line of like, I don't know, 120 people waiting to get onto the train. And I just saw this girl with some suitcase just walk up to the very front of the line, just shove the ID card in front of the train worker, and he just let her through. And there was no reason for this. It was just very random. And then there's some guy like in that same moment, like 5 minutes prior, who tried to cut in front of me before the person I was with gave them a dirty look. And they backed up a bit and decided not to cut in front of me. Instead, they just cut in the front of the person behind me. And this just seems par for the course. Another time I was walking through a train station, just trying to get to my train, and there's someone who was slamming their suitcase against the back of my feet. And they were making really annoying noises. I could tell they were like, oh, I can't believe it. You know, they were making those types of noises. They were really annoyed that I was walking not fast enough for them, even though they were hitting my feet with their suitcases. So funny. Anyway, it's one of the most fast-paced cultures I've seen. I don't think I'm going to be coming back to the US and cut in front of lines, but maybe I can try to adopt some of this fast-pacedness in moments where it benefits me. Lastly, one thing that I think is really cool about China, two things actually, is their ability to build things. The whole world sources so much material and resources and products from Chinese factories. And China's also just really good at building materials. There's some train station that was given a green light and it was built in like 12 hours, literally. Just given the green light, there's nothing there. In 12 hours, the workers have fully constructed this train station. Incredible, amazing, really. And in contrast, in US, we had this bridge that broke in Baltimore, and that's probably going to take at least 10 years to build. I mean, just being here and seeing the pace of the construction, there's no way it would take that long in China. I think I was talking with some friends and they were saying, could take 3 months. And I said, what about 6 months? They said, no, 6 months, way too long. Wouldn't happen. Probably that bridge in China is getting built in 3 to 6 months, I would say. And then there's the scaling ability. I think when I look at China, there's just so many people and they have built so many great infrastructure throughout their cities. It makes me think that this culture just scales very well. As you increase the number of people, it scales well. So it's kind of like this model called transformers in machine learning. Actually, the only similarity here between that model and this culture is that it scales really well. So for transformers and AI with like ChatGPT, you can throw the whole internet at it and it still is just keeping improving. And this isn't the case with many neural network architectures, but for transformers specifically, they just scale really well. You just keep throwing data and they keep improving. And that is kind of what I'm reminded of when I see some great infrastructure in China, is that the population just scales well. Okay, so yeah, I kind of talked about some different aspects of the culture. There's definitely a lot of negative aspects I didn't go into today, but I talked about a lot of positive aspects I saw during my trip. And we can try to take some of those aspects into our own lives. Maybe that means we can recognize the value of competency in construction, or we can try to make systems that scale better, and we can try to pursue good academic achievement. Okay, that's it. I hope you found some of this entertaining, maybe a little bit valuable, and I will keep trying to give more valuable videos in my daily uploads. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see those, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.